Hey friends, Cherie here. Welcome back to the channel, Cooking at Home with Cherie. Well, in today's video, we are going to kick off our series on showing you how I preserved all that food that I bought during my Azure standard fall and winter haul. And so we're going to start off with preserving the sweet potatoes and yams. So one way I'm going to be preserving some of all 5 varieties, or I think I have 4 varieties, is through roasting. And so I'm starting off with these 2 sheet pans. I'm going to pull out 2 more for the other 2 varieties. And I just have simply, I let these soak in some water with my vegetable cleaning solution that I use and rinse them off, and I just have them on these stainless steel sheet pans. I'm going to go through with a fork and just poke some holes in all of them, and I'm going to be convection roasting these in my oven at 350 degrees. All right, so let me turn the light on. These beauties are roasted. Again, 4 different varieties. They are cooling off, and then I'm going to move on to the next step, which is to simply peel them. And yeah, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with them after they're peeled. All right, so I'm not gonna go through each one of these, but I just wanna show you, here's the purple sweet potato, cooled down and peeled. All these wonderful peels are going to go into my compost bin, get that composted, and then add it to the garden. And yeah, so with this first round, I'm actually just gonna bag these up and put them in the freezer whole as is. And I'm gonna work my way through the other 3 varieties doing exactly the same thing. All right, so here's that first batch. I have to do this several more times as I've made almost no dent in the over 100 pounds of sweet potatoes and yams that I'm gonna be working through over the next day or 2. So these are gonna go into the freezer. I have them all labeled. And next I'm gonna put another batch like this, just whole, roasted into the oven. I'm gonna get my second oven turned on this time. And so I'm gonna be also roasting some cubed or, sliced up. And while those are in the oven, I'm gonna try to get some chopped up and into the steamer. All right, we'll check back in. So while I do maintain our garden through our garden season outdoors here, it's a short growth season. I have about 110 days where I can effectively grow food outside. I also keep an indoor garden, but there are just some things that just don't grow as abundantly as I need them to. And I like to use Azure mainly because I can just get everything that I want. It's all here, and I spend a week just getting the house set for winter. So I'll have a Costco haul. I think I'm not putting that up until after the series is up. I hit a couple of my favorite stores like Trader Joe's and Home Goods. They have a good international food department, and World Market. And I get our house set for about 6 months. So today we are gonna work through this box of yellow lemon jalapeno peppers that I bought. If I remember correctly, I think it was a 10-pound box. I will try to remember to put the information on the screen regarding this, but I have a few things that I want to use these peppers for. They need to be sliced and prepared in different ways for the different things, but right now I just have everything cleaned. I had them soaking in my homemade vegetable cleaning solution. These are organic, but you still want to clean your things very thoroughly. And yeah, so I'm gonna start chopping up this first colander for the first prep item. All right, so I did the chopping. So I have basically 4 different things I plan to do, at least 4. So these I just chopped off the tops, scooped out all the seeds. They're just gonna get put in the freezer like that. And I plan to use these I can roast them, I can stuff them and roast them or bake them. These I have just chopped in half and de-seeded. These I have cut into rounds. And then these are just like the top bits, the extra bits, and any kind of, you know, I had some where like I threw out half of it, and so I just chopped up the rest. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is the easiest thing, which is just to get these into a labeled bag and put into the freezer. These here I'm just gonna store in the fridge. Actually, I'm gonna portion them. I'm gonna measure out like a cup or so to keep in the fridge, and then the rest I'm gonna put in the freezer. And I'll just be able to, again, pull those out and roast them, add them into different dishes as I see fit. And if I wanted to in the future, once they're frozen, I could actually go ahead and freeze dry them. So we'll see, but just gonna get those put away for now. Well, today we are going to be focusing on continuing to preserve and put up for fall and winter usage some of the produce that we got during our last big Azure Standard haul. Today I'm working on leeks as well as some more of the peppers. And so starting off with the leeks, I'm just gonna go in here, get them all trimmed up. And I'm gonna be preserving these leeks 3 different ways. All right, so I have them sorted into 3 piles. This first pile is what I'm going to clean and chop for the dehydrator. Then this bunch here is going to get roasted, cleaned and roasted. And then this bunch here is gonna get cleaned, chopped, and bagged up for the freezer. All right, so I have them portioned off into the 3 piles for the 3 different ways that I'm gonna preserve it. We're gonna start off with pile 1. I'm gonna get these cleaned up, and I'm actually going to be putting these into the dehydrator. All right, so I got the leeks that are for dehydrating all washed off. This top tray has the green tops that were salvageable. You know, with the leeks, you gotta peel back a lot of layers sometimes to get to the more tender part. And then here I have 3 trays that I just, cut up in rounds. And get this dehydrating. All right, these next 2 piles actually are both gonna get cleaned and chopped, but this first one is going to get chopped up and then put in the oven for roasting. So let's get that going. So now we gotta work through this last bunch. These are simply gonna get washed, chopped, dried, and put into bags to store in the freezer. So I got the leeks together. I'm gonna do 1 tray with like just the whole round parts, and then here is the round parts and just sliced in half because I plan to use them for different things. And I'm gonna be roasting them, convection roasting at 350, and I am going to drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil and some real salt. Okay, so I got these leeks all cleaned, thoroughly dried and chopped, and I put them into 2 quart size freezer bags and this 1 gallon size freezer bag. And I can smell that the leeks that I put in the oven are ready to come out, so I'm gonna grab those out after I put these bags into the freezer. Okay, so this first round of leeks are completely dried. I let this run overnight, and you can see they are all very crunchy. So I'm gonna get these into their containers, and then I have some more green tops to do from the leeks that I chopped up and put into the freezer. Okay, and here are the roasted leeks. I'm gonna get them just bagged up separately because I'm gonna use these for different things. But they're gonna go into the freezer now they've cooled down. All right, they're bagged up. I did a little taste test of these. They are so sweet and delicious. So these are gonna go into the freezer as well. So I filled the dehydrator now with, these are those green tops that were left over from the leeks that I chopped to put into the freezer, both roasting and just the raw frozen ones. So I had a lot of green tops. A lot of the exterior leaves are just getting composted, and these are the inner leaves that were clean and still quite green. Those are getting dehydrated. And these give off a little bit more intense leaky flavor than like the white parts of the leek when they're dehydrated. So I'll have this in addition to all the other full stalks that are dehydrated. All right, friends, so the leeks are dry. You want to make sure they're really they should be brittle and crunchy, right? So I'm going to get these into a bag. I'm not going to grind any up yet. I will at the end probably grind up some to make a new batch of my vegetable seasoning. But for now, I'm just going to get these stored away so they can remain dry. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving on to the first of the peppers. These are the green peppers, and this pan here, I've just cored them out, de-seeded them, mostly got the pith out, and I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil and some real salt on them, and they're gonna go into the oven on convection roast at 300 degrees. And then I'm prepping some for just chopping for the freezer. And then the remainder will be chopped and roasted. And then some of that chopped green pepper will go into the dehydrator. So with this one, I'm gonna have 4 different ways of preserving the green pepper. All right, so I have 1 small tray and then a full sheet pan tray of the whole green peppers, whole-ish, and then here I have them sliced. Okay, so they are drizzled with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and some real salt. In the oven they will go. Okay, and so I got the rest of the bell peppers. So I remember it's 38 pounds of bell peppers. I didn't count the quantity, but as I move on to the final pepper that I'm going to be preserving in this video, I'm going to count them because it was also I'm pretty sure, or maybe it was a 25 pound. I'll remember. I'll point that out when we get to the red peppers. But anyway, I have the trays that I showed in the oven roasting, and then I got the rest of the peppers chopped up. So this whole container here is just going to get separated into bags and put into the freezer. This container here, same thing, going to get bagged up, or actually I'm going to containerize some of them into the portions that I know I need for certain dishes, and then the rest I'm going to just put into a big bag or some other container. And then this pot here is all for the dehydrator. So I'm going to let these just sit and dry a little bit more and then get them bagged up. And then the dehydrator still has the leeks, the final portion of leeks in there. So once that cycle's done, these will go in. So I'm just gonna pop this into the fridge until it's time. Okay, so the peppers are done roasting. I'm gonna let them cool down, and then I'm gonna be peeling off the skin, and then I'll just have the deliciously roasted peppers that I'm gonna, bag up or containerize. And then, so I'm gonna leave these whole like this, so then if I'm making a recipe, usually when I'm using like the roasted bell peppers like this is for a soup or something where I'm adding that roasted pepper flavor and I'm blending it. So I will leave these as is after I peel the skin off, and then I can pull out 1, 2, however many I need to put into the recipe. And then these are just roasted for those quick days when, I just want to have just something quick to like heat up in the convection oven or in a skillet. And so I'll have loads of different ingredients. That's what I'm already building with the leeks and the other things that you saw earlier in this video, as well as you'll see throughout more videos in this series. So I'm already roasting, pre-cooking different ingredients that I would typically add to like a stir fry or a bowl or some one pot dish. And then I can mix and match. One day I might want the roasted onions with the peppers and some tomatoes. Another day I might want the leeks with the peppers. And so, yeah, just building up again. As I talked about, I hope earlier in this video, but certainly in other videos in the series, that I'm getting all the stuff prepped so that as I move through these next 2 months, which are usually the busiest months of the year for me, you know, I don't want to have any excuse about, you know, having to grab takeout. And so this is going to really help me stay on track with my healthy eating. All right, and so now the chopped green bell peppers are loaded into the dehydrator. So we'll get this running. Okay, so the final thing I'm doing today is getting the red peppers processed. So with the red peppers, I'm just going to be roasting a bunch. This is about, I don't know, maybe a little over half. So I'm gonna roast some larger pieces, some strips, and then some cut up. And then, yeah, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get these drizzled with a little bit of olive oil and some real salt. And in the oven they go.